I call to order the meeting of Public Utility Commission meeting, March 9th, 2020, 6 o'clock p.m. Thank you all for coming. Could I get our prayer, Mayor, would you prayer for us?
Let's bow. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the blessings of your love. We thank you for life, health, and strength. We thank you for this group that has gathered today to make decisions that will affect your people. We thank you for the warmth that we feel now as we walk out of the door. Thank you for this community that we serve and its people. And we thank you for those who serve them. We ask that you be with us throughout this meeting, guide our tongues, guide our hearts, guide our minds, and guide our thoughts. Bless the bereaved families. Continue to wrap your arms around us and be with us throughout this meeting is our prayer. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Let's stand up and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Move on with our printed agenda. Welcome our visitors. Any concerns from our visitors? Any questions, comments? Then moving on. Thank you, Officer Brown, for being here. And we'll move on with the agenda. Approval of the minutes. Just we all had an opportunity to go over the minutes. Any discussion on the minutes? Not.
Can we improve them all?
We can vote on those for approval for all at one time. Yes.
They were so cool.
Second. Motion and second. And get a vote by show of hands for approval of the minutes. Approval of the minutes. Three. It's unanimous on the approval of the minutes. Activity report. You know, the agenda. Activity report. Director of Financial Services, Ms. Kay. Good evening.
In the month of February, I attended an ECG and MEAG Power Solar meeting that was held in Forsyth. It's a real good update on solar power. Customer service posted 4,753 payments. For assistance, we have 7 for CARES and 66 for Middle Georgia Energy Assistance. We had 569 drive-through customers for the month of February. We had 3 new applicants apply for sewer connection as part of the Southwest Sewer Project, for a total of 5 now that we've paid out loans on. We've had a total of 2,086 customers who have registered online as of February. 35 were new members for the month of February. We had 179 arrangements in February. For the meter department, they completed 537 service orders. The top 5 job codes were billing rereads of 189, reconnect 166, connects 58, disconnects 46, occupant change 38, and also, I'm sorry, I should have said one. Before I started, you have a separate sheet for customer service. There was some editing, there were some issues in the packet you received, so the single copy received this evening is the correct one for February. In IT, they installed a server and clients for Itron FCS. This would be a new software for meter reading. We had a company-wide security testing for phishing. We had a 100% pass rate, which is wonderful. Company-wide security training, we had 98% participation. We had a total calls of 6,734. Calls 1,328, which averages about 166 per day. Any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Kathy, Director of Financial Services? Ms. Kathy?
Thank you.
Electric and gas department. Mr. Clay. Good evening.
This last month, we upgraded 2 commercial customers with underground primary wire. We worked 6 permanent power connections, repaired 19 streetlights, repaired 5 security lights, trimmed trees in 5 locations, changed out our road gloves. The gas department, we investigated and or repaired 15 reported gas leaks and 1 clogged meter. We retired 1 gas service line. We recorded all our rectifier readings, completed the school and hospital leak survey, and we completed 99 locates. Our water plant, we repaired 8 service leaks, changed 7 water meters, installed 5 new services. We repaired a 12-inch main out off the Housersville Road, and we finished reinstalling the motor at well 7. And we did that all in-house. And this month we worked on changing out the shelving in the warehouse, getting that all straightened up. And we pumped 43,913 gallons of water. For wastewater, we pressure cleaned 9 streets, 3,024 feet. We flushed service laterals on 5 streets. We installed 1 new service on Brooks Boulevard. We video inspected Campus Drive, 240 feet. And we pumped 503,000 gallons of sludge to digester, processed 31,138 gallons of sludge to the centrifuge, and sent 81,540 pounds of biosolids to the landfill. We processed 64 million gallons of wastewater, which was mainly due to all the rain, because we had a large amount of wastewater. Any questions?
Any questions of Mr. Clay?
Just want to commend whichever department this was. There were about 3 trucks out that day that we got all that heavy rain. Forgot what day that was. There were 3 trucks out checking, monitoring, making sure that the water was draining off like it needed to. And I commend y'all for that. Because I stopped, there was one, they were on my street, and I asked what they were up to. They said, we just want to make sure that water doesn't come in the house. I said, I appreciate that. But anyway, they were on it.
Yes, I have a question. You said that there were 15 reported gas leaks. How many did we take care of?
No, we took care of all 15.
Oh, okay,
We go out on those immediately.
okay, good, good.
Those aren't some, anyway.
All right, exactly. And one more thing. You said that you took care of 12 in-house calls. Maybe I wrote it down incorrectly. Something that was on Housersville Road?
There was a 12-inch water main break.
Okay, great.
The in-house was, we installed a 150 horsepower motor, and we did that ourselves.
Thank you, Mr. Clay.
Yeah, I have 2 things I want to mention. Clay Walker will be handling the administrative tasks on interim basis of the city to fill the position that was vacated by Jason Johnson. And I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge Charles Jones. He was with us this evening. Got a phone call last week from Charles, Nick Charles, the commission attorney, working Carol Hill, George started on it. So, do you have any comments or anything you'd like to share with commissioners?
No, I just, thank you for the vote of confidence and allowing me to come back to the place I once was. Look forward to working with everyone. Joe's been a tremendous, help to me in terms of, keeping me up to speed, and we'll be working together and make the transition. But thank you for your, for allowing me to come back and work with you.
Pleasure to have you. All right, water reclamation, you handling all of them.
He did,
Yeah,
he did all of them on
I
this.
just want clarification, Clay is handling electric, gas, water reclamation, one-stop shop.
He's trying to get through this time.
All right.
Before we move on, I have a little bit of, Antonio Lopez, we call him Q, got in touch with you, he may have got in touch with Jason, but, you know, we normally, feed the linemen that have put the Christmas decoration out. And we were a little bit slow before Jason got out of here. I tried to treat Jason myself, he said he had dinner planned with his boo, so he didn't, they didn't do that. But the others that were, working with that, that's planned for Thursday at noon at 1836. And it's something that we do every year. So what now? We should have, and I apologize for that. There's so much that was going on, we just got behind. So, it is, open for you, for the ones who come, in addition to the names that were given to us. I've been invited to last time too. But it's Thursday at noon.
Moving on with our agenda, General Manager, anything?
Those are two items.
Two items you had? Okay, thank you. Old business, no old business, and we'll move on to our new business. Water system improvements to serve FVSU. So, Mr. Clayton.
This is the water treatment plant, tank, and the lines to serve Fort Valley University. And the contracts, contract A, B, and C, altogether with a $200,000 contingency, is $4,416,580. The length of those contracts is 1 year for the tank and 1 year for the plant and well.
So 1 year of the tank?
Yes, sir. And we're recommending to proceed with the award of contracts.
Proceed with contracts.
I think last week you guys wanted some clarity on, who's on the contract for the equipment. I think that may have been submitted to the package, is that correct?
Yes, and they're on the agenda now too.
All right, water system improvements to serve FVSU, Fort Valley State University.
This is just to accept the bids, right?
This would be to award the contracts.
Yeah.
The water contract, I mean.
Yes.
That's what I'm.
Motion?
I mean,
Second. Have a motion, second, for the water system improvements to serve FVSU, Fort Valley State University. And now we need a vote. By show of hands, all those in favor? All those, thank you, it's unanimous. All those that are against or hand, same sign.
Thank you.
Moving on with our current agenda, resolution.
In the work session, the resolution was presented for consideration by the Utility Commission to request that the legislators for the general area for the Fort Valley Utility Commission service, which would be incidentally Mr. Dickey and in the Senate, Mr. Kennedy, that they would enact legislation to put a provision in the amendment to Act 221 of the General Assembly, which would provide as follows. Any vacancy occurring among the members of the commission by reason of death, resignation, disqualification, incapacity to serve, removal from office in accordance with law, or otherwise shall be filled by a vote of the commission, with the person or persons selected to serve until the next general election, or the post filled by such vote, and until a successor is elected and qualified. No vacancies on the commission shall impair the ability of the commission to transact any and all business of the commission to perform all its duties. The reason that I have recommended that you consider this resolution is that the underlying city charter contained provisions for the appointment of aldermen. There was nothing in the charter specific to the utility commission. When House Bill 685 was enacted, it did not have a provision to specifically address vacancies in office. To be consistent with what the city does going forward, I prepared language for this resolution to be forwarded on to the legislative body, so that if there's a vacancy in the city or a vacancy in the utility commission, it would be substantially filled substantially the same way. I believe the language that I have prepared is a little more modern than what's in the city charter, given the fact that they still refer to aldermen instead of city council persons. But the effect is the same. And at some point, the city and the utility commission may want to amend how they fill vacancies, but until that time occurs, this would provide a mechanism for uniformity across the board in the local city of Fort Valley election area, so that if a vacancy occurred, there wouldn't be any confusion among the public, and also would cut down on the number of special elections that one would have to call at the expense of it. That's my recommendation. Since that time, at the last meeting, a couple of questions came up. Mr. Honeycutt, unfortunately, was unable to be here. And we had tabled the matter to allow Mr. Honeycutt the opportunity to participate, and also for me to look at the question. Fortunately, Mr. Honeycutt's mother is still ill, and she is in grave condition. They asked that you say a prayer for her, and also for Bob and his family. So he is not here. The other question that arose was, it was an interesting question. You know, the utility consists of four voting members, and the mayor is an ex officio member who votes in the tie. And at the last meeting, there were three board members and the mayor. The question arose as to was the chairman of the utility commission allowed to either make a motion or make a second for a motion to pass the resolution. And the question was posed to me, is that proper under Robert's rules? So I went back to the office, consulted with Charles, and also consulted with another attorney, and I brought a copy of Robert's rules that is on point on this specific issue. And it's in subparagraph section 49 of Robert's rules, beginning on page 487, continuing on over to 488, and I will briefly read it to you so that you can consider what you wish to do. In a board meeting where there are not more than about 12 dozen members present, some of the formality that is necessary in a large assembly would hinder business. The rules governing such meetings are different from the rules that hold in other assemblies in the following respects. It had multiple bullet points, several of which apply to this situation. One bullet point is motions need not be seconded. Another bullet point is when a proposal is perfectly clear to all present, a vote can be taken without a motion having been introduced. Another bullet point is that the chairman is a member, he may, without leaving chair, speak in informal discussions and in debate and vote on all questions. It goes on to further say, informal discussions may be initiated by the chairman himself, which is in effect enables the chair to submit his own proposals without formality, formally making a motion as described on pages 33 and 35. Parentheses, although he has the right to make a motion if he wishes. Those are the particular provisions of Robert's rules that applies to the situation of a small board, this being a small board consisting of 4 elected officials, 1 ex officio member who votes in the event of a tie. So if any of those to the satisfaction of the board apply, or if you have any questions about those specific provisions, that is the answer to the question that was posed to me in the work session by me. So the answer specifically is my opinion that the chair, if he so chooses, can either make a motion or the chair has the power to second the motion pursuant to the provisions of section 49. Further, given that it is a small body, the motion need not be seconded at all. Further, given that this is a fairly straightforward matter, which is really not open to discussion, the vote could be taken without a motion at all. My advice would be that you would allow the chair to either vote, if he chooses to do so, either as a second or make a motion. That's my report for you.
Mr. Chairman, and I hate to keep bringing up stuff, but somebody need to bring up stuff. 2 things. That finding that you found from Robert's Rule of Order, copy of it should have been put in our packet if it's going to affect us. And the second thing is your resolution that you read to us should have been put in our packet so that we could see it the last time and this time. I'm offended because I have an ed specialist degree and been teaching 40 years. You got a lady over there that's got a master's degree. And you got one that's got a doctorate degree. And you got one that's very well educated. We can read for ourselves. So why would you have to read to us something that you're getting us to vote on? Unless it's just kind of off the cuff and you want to make sure, because what you read to us may not be what we are actually voting on when it comes out in print. Why would you do it that way? That's my question. And the other thing is, if Mr. Honeycutt has some problems, and I apologize for that because I just lost a sorority sister this morning. So my heart goes out to him, and we lost what we lost last week. My heart goes out to them. But I would suggest that we table it until all your commissioners can be here. Because I think all the commissioners have to vote on it for it to go to the legislative delegation. That's Patty Bentley's rule. All the commissioners have to vote on it. When we saw it the first time, she asked that the commission sing it. I was at the Capitol when she showed it to us, and y'all's lobbyists was chasing us up and down the steps. And she asked, had we seen it? Had the commission seen it? And I said, no, we hadn't seen anything. And I didn't see it the last meeting we had. You read it to us just like you're doing right now. So that offends me. I don't know about anybody else. I like to read my own stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, for your expressing your concerns in light of things that are going on with Commissioner Honeycutt. And I would like for him to be here to vote on that subject matter. Currently, that's.
I'm just making a report.
I move that we leave it on the table. I make a motion that we leave it on the table.
For discussion, what is our time frame to make legislature?
Until all your commissioners can be here.
Do we have the time?
Until all commissioners can be here. Because all of them have to sign off on it.
Well, of course, the legislature is in session. I don't know how many days they're currently 40 days is not necessarily 40 days. I think they're in mid-20s, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of the 40-day session. If you choose to just simply table this matter for further action, it's simply on the agenda. I was asked to make a report. That's my report.
So we're 20 days into a session, the legislature.
I would suggest that if you're going to do this and you would like for it to be pushed forward this year, that you call a special meeting to address this matter.
Also, before you vote, can you go back and look at that charter again closely? The charter says if it's less than 12 months in the term, then they can't appoint. The revised charter that we were working on will say shall appoint. But if it's less than 12 months still in that term, you can't appoint. I didn't hear that come out either, but we didn't have anything in front of us, so. Motion on the floor. And second.
Should we table this to a special call meeting to vote on this? So we can get it up with all of our commissioners in place and vote and send it up.
I say.
Probably motion and second on the special call meeting, so all commissioners could be available to vote. So we vote on the second, I'll show hand. So we vote to table for a special call meeting to vote on this subject matter, a resolution. Moving on with our agendas, item C, new business, executive session.
I do not have it.
Executive session, any other business? All right, although this is not on the agenda, Mayor, do you have anything from the city, anything for the good of the citizens of the commission?
Yes, sir. As we mentioned last week about the fair that's coming up on March the 20th, the flyers and the vendors packets now have been prepared and sent on to Martha and what have you. We're moving forward with that. Looking forward to a great fair. And the other thing is the young lady that's over the Fort Valley Youth Department of Excellence Center that took the place of the old Boys and Girls Club. As you know, the Boys and Girls Club lost their national charter, and they've been trying to continue to serve the children since that time. There are some issues that they have come up with that they brought forth to us that we've got to try to do, that we cannot get grant funding for until another year, and something has to happen by August in order for them to be able to do what needs to be done. You may hear something about a community repair drive, what I call repair drive, whatever you may call it. There's some fencing that needs to be done there. The building belongs to the city. The property belongs to the city. But it needs to be fenced in, and there needs to be a coat of paint, a paint job, some things on the inside need to be done. And we talked to her about trying to have a plan for National Cities Week, maybe the Wednesday of National Cities Week, where we can try to get some contractors to come in and volunteer a little of their time and put a new coat of paint on the inside and do some paint on the outside to bring that up to standard. And the other thing is there are 3 air conditioning units there. Some time back, Martha, you may remember when it happened, 2 of them went out and 1 was still in pretty good shape. So we put a little tape on that, we bandaged that, and now we've got to replace that before the summer. Got an estimate about $8,000 to try to get that done. My question with that was, could we qualify for Main Street billing and replace that with a gas unit? only for the residential, or could we maybe break it up before, because that's got to be done before our next budget year starts. We've got to do something like that, do something for it. And so that was just a question I need to check with somebody to see if it would qualify for Main Street building. I think Chewy looked at got some estimates on it. It's like $8,000 is what it costs us on the air unit. And then we're looking at a grant from the Department of Natural Resources. But that's not something that's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 months. And when school is out in May, we have no pool that we are trying to get a splash pad for. And we certainly don't want to shut that operation down where the children have nothing to serve them. And I was just bringing that up, making mention of that.
I'm sure that, you know, if there's anything that the commission can help June with regards to that.
Right.
They'll improve they'll figure it out and do whatever is
Yeah, let
necessary.
me double check the policy. I think the policy is for residential customers. Let me double check.
Just residential.
Yeah, but let me double check.
Also, they needed some lighting fixtures changed and all of that, and I suggested to them, let's go with the Clean Air Coalition project on the LED and put LED lighting in. The Clean Air Coalition will reimburse us 50% of that when we do that, up to $5,000, so we can get some funding for that. Little things that we can go ahead and do and get it ready for the summer, we want to do, and the other we'll try to do some grant funding. That's all.
Thank you. And another PSA, while we're there, Peaches to Beaches is this weekend at Festival Park and at the Farmers Market, 13 to 14. For all the yard sellers and those that know. Any other business for the good of the?
Speaking of Peaches and Beaches, I was thinking I was going to miss it this weekend because I had a conference to go to in Atlanta until I got a text from Representative Patty Bentley that said all of the schools in Atlanta are closing tomorrow because one teacher has tested positive for coronavirus, and they are advising us to be very cautious. Even though we are south of them, be very cautious and tell our people all of this right here, when it changes hands and people come up to pay bills in your customer service department and all this kind of stuff, let's make sure we have hand sanitizer and whatever, Clorox and all that kind of stuff that we have to do that with, and stay out of the large areas. So needless to say, at my age, I cancel my conference. Cancel my reservation now. Now, if something changes, then I might run up there, but I was supposed to stand from Friday until Sunday, and at my age, I ain't gonna take that chance.
So they safe. They're gonna stay
Because I'm
safe.
too young for that, you know.
Okay. Well, that concludes the business today, March 9th, for the Utilities Commission. I thank you all for attending. I thank you all for your concerns. Have a good evening.